36 years, nearly to the day after the murder, this was a moment many had given up on.
If he were alive today, the Toronto Police Service would arrest Calvin Hoover.
The 28-year-old was a neighbor and friend of the Jessop family. He would have known Christine stepped off the bus here every day. Police say he took her, sexually assaulted, and killed the 9-year-old.
Our investigators met with Christine's mother this morning, and they continue to be with her at this moment.
Back in 1984, it was a community horror. Just north of Toronto, hundreds joined the search, thousands distraught when her body was found months later. But Hoover was never a suspect. Instead, another neighbor, Guy Paul Morin, was arrested, adding another tragedy to the tale, a wrongful conviction and a decade to clear his name. Morin today says, "I am relieved for Christine's family, and I was sure that one day DNA would reveal the real killer." And now it has. Christine's father, Bob, told CBC News today he felt sickened, adding that as he got older, he wondered when things were going to happen.
We are all genuinely relieved that the person actually responsible for this has finally been identified.
To crack the case all these years later, Toronto police appear to have been the first in Canada to use a new process called genetic genealogy.
We were able to submit a sample of the semen stain that was located on Christine Jessop's underwear to a laboratory in the United States.
That sample was then compared to a vast database of genetic sequences, not just criminals, but of customers searching for their own genealogy. That process led to likely relatives of the suspect.
The second family tree produced Calvin Hoover.
So, David, you're at Toronto Police headquarters. Can you talk with us a little bit about Calvin Hoover? What do you know about him?
Well, first off, we are told by sources that Hoover died by suicide 5 years ago. And when investigators got in touch with his family, they were shocked. Back in 1984, the killer's wife worked with the victim's dad. They all hung out. Their kids played together, and yet he was never a suspect. Even now, detectives are still trying to piece together what Hoover did in the decades between the murder and his own death. And that, Adrienne, means that the investigation into one of the most tangled, horrible homicides in Canadian history is still ongoing.
All right, David Common in Toronto. Thanks, David.
Thank you.